Sometimes the silence feels deafening. The waiting stretches longer than expected. But hear this: delayed does not mean denied. God is not punishing you. He's positioning you. What feels like a pause is often divine protection. What feels like a delay is often divine preparation. He's not holding you back. He's setting you up. He's preserving what's in you so that when he releases you, you'll stand and not break. You'll carry the weight of the blessing without it crushing you. The longer the preparation, the greater the release. Don't rush the process, because what God is preparing for you is just as important as what he's preparing in you. Hold on, this is not the end. The season is shifting. The same God who allowed the stillness is the one who will command the shift. Trust him in the pause, because purpose is quietly being born behind the curtain. When the curtain lifts, you'll understand why the waiting was necessary. Don't doubt the vision. You know what I promised you, and you know what you saw. It's coming. I just need to prepare you first. You see, it's essential that your character and integrity are rock solid before I elevate you. Because where you're going, the waters are infested with sharks and cutthroats, pretenders and frenemies. So don't rush it, my beloved. Your preparation is most essential. It's how you will stand and make me proud when others have betrayed and failed. Amen. Sometimes God will inconvenience you in order to help somebody else. Instead of getting frustrated when our plans don't work out, we need to remember that it's not all about us. Maybe God has you there on purpose to let your light shine. He's counting on you to be a good influence on someone else. Dear universe, I expect miracles. I ask and receive. I am blessed and fortunate. Everything is always working in my favor. I am surrounded by loving and supportive people. I shift into the consciousness of my desired manifestations. I am grateful for magical, prosperous new beginnings. I walk and talk like the powerful creator I am. I move in alignment with massive success. I know who I am. I know what I am capable of. I know my infinite potential, and I am living up to that now. I am blessed with financial abundance. I experience lavish abundance in all forms. I have created a life of luxury and love unique to me. I bless those around me. I change the world. I own my power. I make wise decisions and put my entire energy to good use. I am successful. I am grateful for me. Flove myself. Thank you, angels. Thank you, universe. She moved through the world with a quiet grace, as if her feet barely touched the ground, a presence so light it seemed like a breath between seconds. Her energy was soft, but not fragile. A quiet strength, like the stillness of the ocean at dawn, when the sky first bleeds its colors of brilliance. There was something otherworldly about her, as though she carried with her the weight of stars and dreams yet to be born. Her eyes, deep with mysteries unsaid, held the kind of knowing that made you feel both seen and unseen concurrently. When she looked at you, it was into you past your skin and bones, into the spaces where you hid your soul, into the stories you hadn't yet spoken. It wasn't invasive. It was healing. Her gaze was a balm, gently nudging you to be more than what you ever allowed. She didn't need to shout to fill a room. Her presence was enough. The air shifted subtly around her, as though the elements themselves recognized her essence. Her unguarded laughter sounded like the wind playing in the trees, a fleeting, delicate thing that left you aching to hear it again. When she touched you, even if by accident, it felt like a reminder of something eternal, something that didn't belong to this world, but had somehow found its way here. It wasn't about the warmth of her skin or the softness of her hands. It was the energy that radiated from her, the way she connected with life, with the unseen threads that bound everything together. In her silence, you felt peace. In her presence, you felt possibility. She didn't demand attention or admiration, but simply by being, she inspired a quiet reverence. There was a lightness to her, a floating sense that she could drift away at any moment, back to wherever it was she came from. But until then, she remained, a reminder that some people carry magic not in the harmony of their words or actions, but in the gentle, ethereal glow of their being. Building a legacy isn't just about what you leave behind, but about the impact you make while you're here. It's the story of how you lived, how you loved, and how you influenced the world around you. A legacy is the lasting imprint of your values, dreams, and actions, carried forward by the lives you've touched. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day, but true fulfillment comes from thinking beyond ourselves. When we invest in our communities, lift others up, and strive to make a difference, we build something that endures long after we're gone. Your legacy is your gift to future generations, an opportunity to inspire, guide, and elevate. Now is the time to think about what kind of legacy you want to leave, whether through kindness, innovation, or leadership. The choices you make today shape your tomorrow. What will you be remembered for? She moves through the world with quiet grace, a woman who has learned the art of being present. The wind whispers through the trees as she walks, her feet pressing gently into the earth, each step a reminder that she is connected to something larger. Nature cradles her, the rhythm of the natural world syncing with her breath, reminding her to slow down, to feel each moment as it unfolds. Her heart is anchored in the now. She doesn't chase after time or worry about what tomorrow holds. Instead, she listens, truly listens, to the stillness around her. The rustle of leaves, the soft murmur of a stream, the distant call of a bird. These are her guides. In the quiet spaces where the world pauses, she finds her answers. There is no rush, no anxiety. She trusts in the wisdom of the present, understanding that clarity comes when she surrenders to it, rather than when she searches for it. Mindfulness, sis, is her practice, not as a chore or discipline, but as a way of being. Each sunrise, each drop of rain, each breath of air is a gift, and she embraces them fully. Her senses are alive, attuned to the beauty and simplicity, the softness of moss beneath her fingertips, the warmth of sunlight on her skin. She is not distracted by the noise of the world. Instead, she is grounded in the essence of what it means to truly live. In her stillness, she has found her strength. The answers she seeks are not external, but within. It is in the pause between thoughts, in the space between breaths, that she discovers her truth. There is no fear, only trust. She is a woman of the present, of nature, and in this quiet existence, she finds a freedom that few can understand, but all can feel when they're in her presence. She radiates peace, and in her peace, others find solace. A spiritually expensive woman carries a high level of self-awareness, emotional depth, and a rooted commitment to her personal growth. This doesn't necessarily mean she's materialistic. Rather, her expense is about the emotional and spiritual investment required to be in a relationship with her. She expects depth, honesty, and a true willingness to grow together, qualities that demand a certain maturity and openness from a partner. She is unafraid to set boundaries that protect her energy, sometimes prioritizing her inner peace over social conventions or surface-level interactions. To be with a spiritually expensive woman, one has to be equally willing to dive deep. She isn't interested in superficiality. She seeks a partner who can support her journey and, ideally, is on a similar one themselves. It can feel like a high investment for someone not used to this level of depth, but for those ready for it, she brings a rare, irreplaceable kind of fulfillment. The relationship becomes a shared journey towards something greater, elevating both partners beyond what they might have reached alone. I am a straight shooter. I will tell you what I think, what I feel, and I will tell you about how your behavior impacts me, good or bad. You cannot be my lover, my friend, or a business partner if you are not open to direct communication. I do not like the gray area. I do not like confusion. I do not like maybes, and We'll see what happens. I respect truth. I respect honesty. I respect constructive criticism. I am at a spiritual place where I need you to tell me about myself too. Communicate with me how my actions impact you so I can attempt to grow. If you don't tell me, I will never know. We never have to shout, yell, or put each other down, but we owe each other honesty about how we make each other feel. And if you're serious, and I mean really serious about being in my life, you cannot be sensitive to the truth or to feedback. I have to feel like I can be open, honest, and transparent with you, otherwise I will pull back and be silent. The universe often communicates through subtle signs when it's trained to leave well enough alone, nudging you to stop pushing or forcing a situation. These signs might come in the form of a growing discomfort, a sense of uncase, or obstacles that seem to arise out of nowhere. They can also appear as moments of clarity, where things just don't feel right, or synchronicities that highlight an alternative path. When you ignore these subtle warnings, the universe doesn't stop trying to get your attention. It escalates. You may experience repeated setbacks, frustrations, or even loss. The obstacles grow larger and more persistent, and you might notice patterns where things simply don't work out, no matter how hard you try. If you continue to disregard these signs, the universe starts, building a case against Yoni as if compiling evidence of your resistance. This case is the accumulated consequences of ignoring those warnings, and it manifests through karma lessons. Karma, in this context, isn't about punishment, but correction. It's the natural balance that comes when you persist in a direction that isn't aligned with your highest good. At this stage, the lessons become harsher. Relationships may crumble, opportunities vanish, or you face personal and emotional turmoil. These are the universe's way of making sure you learn what you've been avoiding. Karma is administered not out of malice, but as a way to restore balance, teaching you the value of recognizing and respecting when to step back and let things be. Just sit down and take this royal ancestral ass-whopping, handed-down saint. There's always that one girl, a mystery wrapped in shyness. She keeps to herself, gliding through the hallways, coffee shops, or parks with her head either buried in a book or staring off into some distant thought. She doesn't say much, and when she does, it's short and thoughtful, as if she's not used to sharing her voice, but chooses her words carefully when she does. She has a quiet confidence, an energy that says she doesn't need validation. Maybe it's the way she dresses, timeless, with hints of something unusual, as if she's picked up pieces from another era or a world far away. She's an enigma, someone who seems to live in her own little bubble, unscathed by what everyone else worries about. Rumors swirl. Some say she's a writer, filling stacks of notebooks with poetry or stories too personal to share. Others think she's an artist, sketching scenes only she can see. A few might even believe she has a secret life, full of adventures and places none of them can conceptualize. I am a kept woman. You see, there were times when I thought I would lose my mind, but God kept me sane. There were times when I thought I couldn't go on no longer, but God kept me moving. At times, I wanted to lash out at those whom I felt had done me wrong, but God kept my mouth shut. Sometimes I think the money just isn't enough, but God helped me keep the lights on, the water on, rent. A good woman is the salt of the earth, steady and humble, yet full of quiet strength. She finds the courage to shine on her own, nor for the approval of others, but from an inner aim that drives her forward. Self-motivated, she rises every day with purpose, creating beauty and order in a world that often feels chaotic. She is a source of inspiration, not through grand gestures, but through the simple, consistent way she lives her life. As a daughter, she honors her roots, respecting the wisdom passed down to her while forging her own path with grace and independence. As a friend, she is loyal and steadfast, the one who listens without judgment, offers a hand without hesitation, and lifts others without needing to be asked. She moves through the world with compassion, always thinking of how she can ease the burdens of those she loves. As a mother, she is nurturing yet firm, offering her children both the space to grow and the boundaries that keep them safe. She instills values of kindness, respect, and resilience, teaching them by example what it means to live with integrity. Her love is both gentle and fierce, a force that shapes those around her for the better. As a wife, she is a true partner, strong in her own right but never diminishing her spouse. She understands the balance of giving and receiving, supporting and being supported. In her, love is not just an emotion, but an action, one rooted in respect, communication, and unwavering commitment. A woman like this is highly favored by God, for her heart is pure and her spirit strong. She is afraid to set boundaries, to say no when it's needed, for she understands the value of self-respect. Yet, within those boundaries, she remains kind, generous with her time and her love, always offering a warm smile or a comforting word to those in need. Her worth is immeasurable, not in titles or achievements, but in the way she touches the lives of others. She is the salt of the earth, seasoning the world with goodness, and she shines, not because she seeks the spotlight, but because her fight is undeniable. A spiritually expensive woman carries a high level of self-awareness, emotional depth, and a rooted commitment to her personal growth. This doesn't necessarily mean she's materialistic. Rather, her expense is about the emotional and spiritual investment required to be in a relationship with her. She expects depth, honesty, and a true willingness to grow together, qualities that demand a certain maturity and openness from a partner. She is unafraid to set boundaries that protect her energy, sometimes prioritizing her inner peace over social conventions or surface-level interactions. To be with a spiritually expensive woman, one has to be equally willing to dive deep. She isn't interested in superficiality. She seeks a partner who can support her journey and, ideally, is on a similar one themselves. It can feel like a high investment for someone not used to this level of depth, but for those ready for it, she brings a rare, irreplaceable kind of fulfillment. The relationship becomes a shared journey towards something greater, elevating both partners beyond what they might have reached alone. The thing about deep spiritual women is she's not turned on by the alpha abs or appearance. She's not into money or materialism. She's sexually disciplined. She chooses celibacy over soulless connections. Her sexual energy is fierce when awakened, but only a man that touches her naked soul gets a glimpse into this side of her. She's real and rare, most likely demisexual or possibly sapiosexual. Women like this don't fall in love easily, but when they do, they love with every cell right down to their soul. Her love is fierce, fearless, and loyal, but only a man of spirit and depth can ever capture her wild heart. The unbothered woman is a feared woman. The unbothered woman walks through life with an air of quiet confidence that turns heads and silences whispers. She is out indifferent, she feels deeply, loves fiercely, and lives authentically, but she no longer allows the noise of the world in Daterth, the kitham of her soul. Soul. Her energy is sacred, and she sparrows it with intention, knowing hetwath Ian's tied to the options al Euthan. She is unbothered not because she doifa see, but because she's learned to prioritize peace over chaos. The petty comments, the unanimous advice, the judgments that once gnawed at her spirit matol of her like water. She's built herself a fortress of self-love and clarity, and nothing frivolous can penetrate in's walls. Her power lies in her ability to choose where she feeds her attention, and it's never on things that dim her light. This woman knows that her time is finite, her energy priceless. She doesn't chase validation, approval, because she has found everything she needs within herself. When she walks away, it's not in anger or himmernest, it's with a quiet understanding that not everything is meant for her. She leaves behind what doesn't align and cakes with her the lessum. knowing each step forward is a step toward her purpose. The unbothered woman is not invincible. She has been tested by life. She has faced storms that threatened to break her and endured omgments that could have hardened her heart. Itur murad of becoming hater, she became better. She grew roots so deep in her truth that even the harshest wind couldn't uproot. Her unbothered nature is not a mask or a performance. Used the result of years of inner work, healing, and choosing herself. She's a force, not because she's lewd or confrontational, but because her very presence resists self-assurance. Her silence speaks volutes, her laughter is genuine. Anal, her peace ace, is her greatest power. To be unbothered is not to be untouched by life's struggles. It is 10 above them with grace. The unbothered woman knows that her energy is her superpower, and she wields it wisely, unapologetically, and solely unwavering confidence. Straightforward women are valuable. You're a woman who values clarity in every sense. Direct, concise, and never one to dance around a point. Someone who sees little use in pretense. Your communication is clear, and you have an impressive talent for cutting through unnecessary complexities. If something needs to be said, you will say it. If a task needs to be done, you will do it. In your world, there's no space for empty promises or half-hearted commitments. This straightforwardness extends to your relationships too. You're honest, but fair, never hiding behind words or giving false hopes. People know exactly where they stand with you, and your friends and colleagues must respect you for it. You're the one they turn to for the unvarnished truth, knowing you'll deliver it with integrity. It's not that you lack empathy or patience. In fact, you care deeply for the ones around you, which is exactly why you value their time as much as your own. You believe that clarity, while sometimes blunt, is a form of respect. God is saying to you today, the pain is coming to an end. I am going to open up the windows of heaven and pour out everything you've been waiting and praying for. Blessings of love, prosperity, healing, and new opportunities are